Hey, what's up? Good morning, everybody. Matt Modi here with OddsJam. Let's bet some NBA player props today. We got a couple NBA games today. We had one that was supposed to be really good, Warriors-Sixers. Unfortunately, Steph Curry went down with a shoulder injury. He will be out for a couple weeks. They still play tonight. It's not going to be as good as it was supposed to be. But the level of intensity of the game, like how good the game is, doesn't really have any impact at all on the betting opportunities for that game, so it doesn't really matter if the game's good or not. It's just sometimes more fun to have some skin in the good games. But regardless, we're going to be betting some NBA player props. I love betting on the NBA. I love betting on NBA player props. NBA is actually my most profitable sport. Before I get into the picks and everything, if you look at my profit by sport graph, the basketball is by far my most profitable. Most of this is from the NBA, a little bit of college basketball as well. My total profit in basketball is 7.2K. My total profit using OddsJam is 15.6K. Now, a majority of that loss comes from baseball, which started off the year horrible, was able to make it more reasonable towards the end of the year. But regardless, the NBA is by far my most profitable betting sport. Of course, some days are up, some days are down, some months are down. As you saw from my graph, not everything is going to be profitable all the time, but over the course of time, it will be. I just have to kind of suffer some variance and accept that variance is the nature of the game. But the first play that I'm going to go ahead and lock in here is this James Harden under 6.5 assists. So the play is at minus 115 at PointsBet, and obviously in the Warriors versus Sixers game. So number one, the first thing you want to look at when you're placing bets is the math behind everything. So number one, you want to look at the no-vig odds, right? That's the most important thing. These odds kind of feed into where everything comes from in terms of positive expected value, and they're pulled from the most accurate sports books in the world. So the no vig odds you see here are pulled from just a weighted average from all of the different sharp sports books across the world, basically, like which ones consistently do the best job at pricing odds. And this data has been back tested, so it's not as though we just anecdotally were like, hey, which ones do we think are the best? No, it was data that was back tested over the course of time. So moving forward, basically using the historical data to set the market, set the market moving forward, saying, hey, historically, these sports books did the best job at pricing odds. Now let's use them to set the market moving forward and take advantage of sports books that have mispriced lines, which is exactly what this PointsBet one is. So the minus 115 play at PointsBet, no vig odds of about minus 118. OddsJam perfect line. The true line of what a market should be priced at, any way you want to name it, is what these no vig odds signify, giving you an EV percent of about 1.36%. This can also be viewed as your profit margin. So a little bit of a lower play, but still one that I really like. Even these lower EV percents can be profitable plays, so not to just be completely ignored. And what you want to do to determine how good a play is, you just want to compare the bet that you are placing, which in this case, again, is the PointsBet one at minus 115, to the rest of the market. You want to see, is the bet that I am placing truly an outlier across the rest of the sports books? And the answer to this one is a clear yes. FanDuel prices it at minus 125, and that's the closest one. Every other book, we see BetOnline at minus 139. We see DraftKings at minus 140, Pinnacle at minus 145, and Caesars at minus 141. All of them price it significantly significantly more likely to occur, basically, than the PointsBet line. And specifically with player props, the books you want to look out for, Pinnacle is obviously the sharpest one. BetOnline is another good, sharp sports book, and then DraftKings specifically for player props. Now, I don't know if DraftKings uses like DFS data or whatever, but they do a pretty good job with player props. So we use them as one of the sharp books to set the line. All in all of them are pretty decently above the PointsBet line, showing me that this is a good play. So I'm going to go ahead and lock it in. James Harden under 6.5 rebounds. So the next one that we're going to go ahead and lock in here is Evan Mobley under 10.5 rebounds. This play is at minus 113 at BetRivers. No vig odds are pricing this at about minus 120, giving us a pretty good EV percent here, 2.85%, so higher than the previous bet that we just locked in, 2.85% profit margin. And then again, compare it to the rest of the sports books. So BetRivers at minus 113. So we actually had PointsBet as a little bit closer at minus 120. But then the rest of them are pretty decently below. Like 17 cents lower is FanDuel at minus 130. And then even lower than that is BetOnline at minus 141, DraftKings at minus 145, Caesars at minus 142. All of them pricing it, again, pretty as the more significantly as the more likely scenario, more likely to occur as the Bet Rivers line. And then the last one that I wanted to lock in here is Banchero over 19.5 points. Paolo Banchero, stud rookie for the Magic. Hate him because he went to Duke, but he's an incredible player. To go over 19.5 points, plus 100 at Bet Rivers. No big odds, giving you at about minus 103. And same thing compared to the rest of the sports books. So plus 100 signifies in a play that's basically 50-50 in terms of odds. So if you place 1,000 bets at plus 100, you win exactly 50% of those bets. You would have broken even. Anything more than that, and you're profitable. And as we can see, the sports books. So you could ignore Underdog and Prize Picks because they're DFS companies that have the same implied odds for everything. And look at every sports book that actually prices odds individually. So we see some have it at 50-50, PointsBet, Caesars, and Pinnacle. So basically saying they don't know what's more likely, so they're going to price the over and the under at the exact same. Minus 115 each way, minus 117 each way, right? And then we see sports books like DraftKings and BetOnline and FanDuel that favor it going over, especially DraftKings favors it going over by the most. The over is priced at minus 125 for DraftKings, the under at minus 105, again, heavily favoring it going over. And then FanDuel and BetOnline slightly favor it going over, but the fact that we see a couple sportsbooks think that the over is the more likely scenario, we're getting it at plus 100, is showing another way to look at a play to show us that we're getting a good price. So this will be my third and final NBA player prop for today. So I got 3 for you guys. If you are tailing them, comment and let me know, and that's it. So enjoy the games tonight and have a good one.